Have you had the experience of a relationship ending, yet still having very strong, loving feelings towards the other party? In today's video, that's what we'll dive right into. How to heal from a breakup when there's clearly love for the other person. The first step in working with this sense of unrequited love or love that's existing beyond the end of a relationship is one of acceptance. Plenty of relationships end and there is still love existing beyond the end of that relationship. I've experienced that. I think most of us will have that experience, that the love just doesn't automatically stop existing just because the relationship ended. So that's a very important place to start with, acceptance and honoring the love that was there, and that there's no need to think that because there's love that you necessarily have to go back to the relationship, but to accept that the love will not just switch off. That's always the starting point. And to stop trying to erase the love, but to be patient and work through what continues to be there for you and see or experience those feelings transforming over time without forcing them. The other thing to highlight at the end of a relationship is how much it can really feel like a threat to us, and that the nervous system can react quite strongly because it, from a deeper unconscious level, can feel like a real threat to our survival. When we're young, if we were to be abandoned and cast out from, say, our parents, that would pose a very real threat for us. Staying connected, a sense of belonging, brings safety, it brings identity. And when this is taken from us, the nervous system will react in alignment with these unconscious beliefs to give us an indication that we think we're under some kind of threat. So again, acceptance that this happening does not mean that you have to somehow find a way to get back to that individual and recommence the relationship. It is simply these beliefs seeking some kind of a resolution through your nervous system. And so, for me, the best way to work with these unconscious beliefs, these aspects of us that are really struggling with the breakup, is to do parts work, is to communicate with these aspects of yourself that are really struggling, to get curious about these aspects of yourself that are freaking out, or that are fearing that maybe you're going to remain alone or never find a love like that again, or that you're unworthy of love because the relationship ended. There's a whole range of different reasons and parts that can be activated as a consequence of a relationship ending. And so starting with being curious, just listening to these parts of yourself, not trying to push them away, not trying to pretend that they shouldn't be there, not trying to rationalize and saying, well, I shouldn't be thinking like this or feeling like this because the relationship is over. Just because your logical or rational mind or your rational parts are accepting the reality of where things are at with the relationship being over, it does not mean that all of your parts, particularly the ones that are focused around connection and safety and feeling lovable and worthy and wanted, are going to accept this or be comfortable with this new state of affairs at the end of a relationship. So those are the parts that need your care, your curiosity, and an exploration. And if you've had no experience doing this kind of work on yourself, then you may need guidance from a therapist or a practitioner to help you with that. Another important tip I offer you is to challenge the parts of you that idealize the relationship and maybe have romanticized the relationship to a point that you only remember what was good and are effectively denying yourself the truth of how the relationship actually was. This is a commonplace experience, that the parts that, again, find safety or security in the relationship will romanticize and focus on all the good things and not allow the full picture to be really registered. So being mindful of that is important. As far as other practical tools and experiences, I would suggest some of the stereotypical types of approaches, like rituals. They have been cliches and stereotypes for a reason. The ritual being to write a letter to the individual or a card, not to post it, just for your own benefit. Potentially, it could be a voice memo. You could symbolically burn certain items. So those ritualistic experiences are a cliche for a reason. They do help with closure. They do create an action, that something you can do to express and to release. But from a meditative space, I've also found it quite helpful to go into an inner space, find yourself in an interaction with the individual who you've ended the relationship with, and go through a little meditative ritual of cutting the cords between you and that other person. That might just feel like your heart to theirs is still connected. Or some people, when they really tune in, can actually sense a number of chords. Solar plexus is another common place where you feel a strong connection. If you felt you needed that person for safety, it might be down lower around the root chakra area. So these chords can be multiple in nature, and the experience of turning inward and acknowledging that these chords or these connections are still in place, and cutting them, literally in your meditative space, some kind of action that is either pulling them out or chopping them, can really help with that release process as well. Another add-on that I would offer is one where perhaps you reclaim your heart back from that individual. Some kind of symbolic gesture where you, in this meditative space, say to the person that you've ended the relationship with, I need to have my heart back now, and take it and energetically, reinsert it, which is very similar to the cord cutting, but it's just another little metaphorical step that you can add on to the meditation to take something sort of almost like an object of sorts or a light and reclaim it. On a deeper spiritual level, I'd also encourage you to really look deep inside yourself for what can be gained from the experience of having the relationship with that person. Why did they come into your life? Was there some kind of healing? Was there some kind of lesson around boundaries or other growth experiences? What did the relationship teach you and tell you? It's never to just hurt you. You're never meant to have an experience from a relationship where you're simply victimized by it. You're not being punished ever by the end of a relationship. It might feel that way, and certainly parts of you can, no doubt feel sorry for yourself. But on a deeper metaphysical level, there's no accidents here. There's something in it for you. Sometimes love, as they say, serves a season, not a lifetime. And so maybe that is the real gift from the relationship. The growth, the self-awareness, the resilience, and even the aftermath of the relationship may be the true gift. So trust and bless the relationship for what it offered you, and know that it is happening exactly as it's meant to be happening. Thanks for watching.